is Wednesday.
Hump day.
And the first day of spring. It's
Matinee
March 20th.
Day. It's the first day of spring.
Yeah.
It's freezing out.
Welcome. I'm Beth Stevens.
I'm Paul Ontarek.
And we are here with Ms. Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
Hey, we have a hot new talent here today as a
We
guest.
have a very talented young individual. Kyle McArthur is here from SUPERHERO.
He's so good in the show.
He's so good in the show. I can't wait to chat with that guy. But first, our top 5.
We found out who's going to be going as Joe. It worked.
That's cute.
Thank you.
I found
All
out
right.
that there's another way to spell Jack.
Oh.
J-A-C, apparently. Jack Yarrow. Very interesting name. J-A-C Yarrow will be playing Joseph in the new West End, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. He's 21 years old. He's a student studying drama at Arts Educational School in London. He recently played Jack Kelly in the school's production of Newsies, as you do.
I'm sold.
And now he's going to put that cape, that robe on and sing those songs,
The
those Andrew Lloyd Webber
Technicolor
songs.
Dreamcoat.
He will be joining Sheridan Smith, the very talented Sheridan Smith, as the narrator, and Jason Donovan, he played Joseph previously.
Thank you for the
Not
history.
the original Joseph, but he played Joseph in the West End as Pharaoh. This is an 11-week run at the London Palladium, starting June 27th through September 8th, directed by Lawrence Connor, who directed School of Rock and Les Mis on Broadway.
Did you just point to the Winter Garden? Was that like
I did.
School of Rock?
It's-
It's Beetlejuice now.
Nobody
but
got that.
It doesn't matter.
I was actually pointing to the what's it called, that place?
The Winter Garden?
TGI Fridays.
Pastrami
that-
Queen.
That Derek Baskin used to work at.
He did. And now he's
Before,
the lead.
now he's a Broadway star. Anyway, I'm
Yes.
sorry. The pointing threw me off. Anyway, congratulations, Jack. Where's the K? I'm into it, though. It's cool. Jack, J-A-C.
And this Tony winner is heading back to the big screen.
Okay, this is great news. So Leslie Odom Jr., former vlogger
We know him.
and a Tony winner, is going into the Sopranos movie prequel.
I love you like vlogger and Tony winner.
Yeah, he vlogged before he was a Tony winner. It's why he won a Tony Award. Pretty sure. You guys can fact check that later. Anyway, he has been cast in The Many Saints of Newark, which is the big screen prequel to The Sopranos. And guess who he's joining? One of our favorite guys, Billy Magnuson.
Billy Magnuson.
We love
is the
that guy.
best. Who's going to be in Aladdin pretty soon.
He's got a lot going
He's
on.
playing. I think it's like a love triangle. They added his character like a love triangle with Jasmine. Again, I'm going off topic.
Yeah, that's off
Billy
topic.
Magnuson.
And Corey Stoll, who we just talked about yesterday, who is also in this film. And we talked about him doing West Side Story. So
Right.
he's very busy as well. So this is the prequel of the, Tony Soprano, the whole Soprano thing. I don't know what to tell you about this. Film is scheduled to be released September 25th, 2020.
Want to hear a secret?
Okay.
I've never seen an episode of The Sopranos.
Well, you have
I
until
know
September
I need to watch
25th,
it. I'm just waiting.
2020 to
Someday I'm
catch
just going to
up.
binge the whole thing.
It's like 9 seasons or something. But good luck with that.
I'll get to it.
Some all-star shows have been added for the Classic Stage Company's upcoming season.
Classic Stage Company does a really good
They're
job of
rocking it.
creating really cool seasons.
Well, John
Obviously,
Doyle
John Doyle is in
Yes.
charge down there. He's the artistic director. We all love John Doyle. Remember the wall of chairs in Color Purple? I feel
How
like we
could we
talk about the
forget?
chairs often. Where are the chairs? The chairs are on the road.
They're on the road.
Chairs are on the road.
Sure.
Anyway, John Doyle this year will be doing Assassins. This is the big deal. We love that Sondheim, John Weidman music. Stephen Sondheim, if you don't know, about all the
Oh, that's
presidential-
Sondheim. I see. Not Barbara Sondheim.
No.
Stephen Sondheim. Thank you.
all the presidential assassins or would-be assassins.
Yes.
Great musical. Good.
Dark
good,
and interesting.
very meaty.
Comic. Yes.
Anyway, he's going to direct that. John Doyle. There might be chairs. That is happening June 2020. He's also directing Macbeth this fall.
And John Doyle himself is
That's
Scottish.
who wrote that?
Shakespeare.
Billy Shakespeare wrote
William Shakespeare.
Yeah.
You're welcome for the first name.
So John Doyle was, I guess, maybe he was like, I want to do these 2 shows. And they were like, okay. So he's directing those.
Bloody John Doyle.
This is interesting, too. There will be a repertory stagings of Dracula and Frankenstein,
Here for it.
John Doyle's going dark.
which is
going
interesting.
very dark
Like, so
with
one
this
night you
group.
could see the monster, and then you could see the vampire, and then that's fun.
Yeah.
What else? Is that it? That's
it.
all we know?
That's all we know.
For now. But, of course, we're going to be talking about the new season of Classic Stage Company
Sure,
for a long
and
time.
all
they
the
have to cast
casting.
all those amazing roles in Assassins. Who's going to play Booth?
Who's
going
going to play
to
Dracula?
Tony on that, in that
Who's going to play
role.
Macbeth? There's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about.
Casting has been announced for this second stage revival.
We're talking about Dying City. This is Christopher Shin's Pulitzer Prize finalist play.
You know him.
I do know Christopher Shin. We went to college together.
I know. I knew. Fun fact. To throw it out
Now we
there.
have casting. Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Colin Woodall will play the roles. It's a two-hander. It's directed by
Means
Lila
two actors.
Neugebauer. Two actors. Lila
Four
Neugebauer.
hands.
Four hands.
Sorry.
Well, actually, Colin plays two roles because there are twins in the show. Spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
It begins previews on May 14th and opens on June 3rd at the Tony Kaiser Theater, where Superhero is currently playing.
Right. It's a connection
And
to today's
through
guest.
the end of March, just to tie it together for you. You're welcome.
And we are swiping right about this news.
Oh boy.
That's a dating app reference because this is a show called hashtag, like hashtag Live at 5. It's
Right.
called hashtag Date Me, an OkCupid experiment. Is OkCupid still a thing? I prefer Bumble.
I have no clue.
I've been
I had
married
better
for
luck
the
on
longest
Bumble.
time.
I have no clue.
Anyway, Lauren Lataro is directing this. She's very talented.
She did the choreography
Yeah,
for
but
Waitress,
now she's
among
going to
other
get to
things.
show us her directing side. She, of course, did Waitress, which is a big hit. This is the musical written by Robin Lynn Norris, Bob Ladwell, and Frank Caetti, and developed by Diane Alexander. A lot of people, I don't
rolls off
know
the
them,
tongue,
but I
yep.
assume they're comedian people because it had a hit 3-year run in Chicago at the Up Comedy Theater. It follows Robin. Interesting, because one of the creators is named Robin.
Okay.
She's unlucky in love but determined to understand it better. So she logs on to the world's most popular dating site, OkCupid. Again, Bumble is good. It starts June 20th at the West Side Theater. I'm sure it's going to be fun.
It does sound fun.
So that must be where the other Josh Cohen is ending, right? Yeah.
It is.
Another great show.
Let's talk about what
dating
else is
and
on the
love
site.
and
Can we- not-
swiping. Well, actually, I just got some hot news right off the press. The 20th anniversary, 20th annual Broadway.com Audience Choice Awards are happening.
20th.
20th, Beth. We've been here a long time.
We have.
They are happening May 30th at 48 Lounge. This is you've done this before. You vote, you nominate, you vote. We give them trophies.
You
They
have your
come,
say.
They take pictures. We do a live at 5 that
Yes, we do.
day.
Yes, we do.
And that's all happening May 30th this year. So you're going to start nominating. Well, we have to let a lot of shows open first.
Yeah, we have to see everything.
So that's the hot new news. What else is on the site?
Well, you interviewed one of our favorite leading ladies, I guess, Eva Noblezada.
Oh, right. She's in Hadestown.
She's in Hadestown,
Great.
and she was lovely.
Yep.
And we have behind-the-scenes video of our exclusive Harry Potter character portraits. And we have a spring preview for Ink, which is at Manhattan
Oh,
Theater
you
Club.
wrote that one.
Yes, I
Caitlin
did.
Yeah, I like
interviewed
those photos a lot.
Those photos turned out really well.
Bertie Carvel and Johnny Lee Miller,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that's the Rupert Murdoch, the
Larry
Sun, the
I'm excited to
tabloid
see that play.
origin. Sorry, James
I want to
Graham.
find out how newsrooms work.
That would be
All
good for you to
right.
learn at this stage of your career. Paul, thank you. It's been
I'm
good
outta
to
here.
see you. We're going to meet this young up-and-comer, Kyle McArthur. Caitlin, will you tell us about our guest?
Gladly. Yes, we have Kyle McArthur in the studio with us today. He's currently making his New York stage debut off Broadway's Superhero, which is currently in its final weeks. Super sad about that. But he's had such a great run because he's been with the show since its original reading back in 2017, so he knows what he's doing. He also recently graduated from Regis High School, which, guess what? That's in New York City. He's from New York. I learned that right before this. Okay. Follow him on social media at Kyle McArthur _. There's an underscore after the R. Don't forget it, or else you're going to follow the wrong person. Leave all of your questions in the comments below, and please welcome Kyle and Beth.
Thank you, Caitlin. Welcome, Kyle.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to ask you very personal questions here
Okay,
because we're just
let's-
meeting. We're just meeting.
All right, we got to get to know
We
each
got to
other.
get to know each other, and I don't usually ask my guests this, but I'm going to make an exception for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Okay. Because you are playing a teenager, a younger teenager. in
Slightly,
Superhero.
yeah.
Slightly younger.
Slightly younger.
That's unusual.
It is.
And
it
I
is
love
indeed.
that you're doing that, and you're doing a
Yeah.
wonderful job. Tell me how you got involved with Superhero.
Yeah. I got it when I was still a teenager, back when
Back
I
in the
was
day?
only 18.
Wow.
It
Ages
was,
ago.
Yeah, it was the end of my senior year of high school, and I had to. The audition came up for a reading they were doing at the Eugene O'Neill Theater Center. That
Connecticut?
in Connecticut that following summer, and I had to make a choice between going on my senior retreat and going on the audition for this thing. And it was
Where
going
was the
back-
retreat? Let's get all the information.
It was at a retreat house in Europe somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, you know the retreat houses.
You know the retreat house in New York? That one. It was
Okay.
at that one.
It was at a super private place. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was bummed out because I was like, oh, it's my last time to be with my high school friends on a retreat. But instead of going on a 5-minute audition that probably won't lead anywhere. But I was like, you know what? Let me just go and do it. And I ended up going on this audition that turned out pretty well.
He
for
booked
me,
it, ladies
'cause I
and
booked it, and
gentlemen.
then I got to do this 2 weeks at the Eugene O'Neill Theater Center, which was the coolest.
And that had a different cast up
Yeah,
there.
it had a different cast because they were still creating it
Developing
and
it.
writing it, and but I mean, it was 2 weeks with some of the
Yeah, this
brightest
is
people.
not a shabby creative team.
No,
Okay, we've
it's
got
not. It's
John
not.
Logan, who has 3 Oscar nominations and a little Tony Award for Red, and then
Oh,
you've
one of
got
those.
Tom Kitt, who has a little Pulitzer Prize, and
Oh,
I
that
mean, yeah,
thing.
he's just a little for Next to Normal. So
Yeah.
they may have been around a little bit.
No,
What did
I
you do
mean,
for your audition?
What did I do?
Yeah, what did you sing? What did you sing?
I sang some Next to Normal in front of Tom Kitt, which is I was.
That's a little.
I guess I was being a little bold
That's
there,
a
but
strong choice.
But Tom is Tom is the nicest guy
He is.
in the world. I mean, he's brilliant musically, but he's just so kind and welcoming that I mean he's been nothing but supportive for helping me become the best performer.
Were you
of his
were you
music.
always prepped to do Next to Normal, or was that in your arsenal of audition songs?
It hadn't been, but I was like, you know what? Let me
Let me do something he's familiar
Let me
with.
do something he's familiar with. You know, it's in the same world, or at least I don't know, something of his that'll land. But yeah, it turned out well. Turned out well for me.
So tell me, when did you start acting?
I 6th grade, I guess.
Give me some of these school credits.
In a
that you did.
production of Alice in Wonderland Jr. was my first one. I played
you-
the White Rabbit. Very
A classic
illustrious
role.
role. Yeah. Yeah, I got to do Gavroche for Les Mis. I have 4 brothers, so the 5 of us all performed growing up.
Where are you in the Brotherhood?
I'm 2nd out of 5, so I
Okay.
got 3 under me, and all 5 of us started doing shows. All 5 of us were in the Music Man together and in Seussical together.
Wow.
The local paper did a little write up on the 5 of us because we've all just performed.
Where did you grow up?
Stamford, Connecticut.
Okay, so kind of a local boy.
Kind of a local
Tri-state-
boy.
tri-state.
Tri-state local boy. It's
Yeah.
it's local. Enough.
So are your brothers also performers?
Yeah, well,
I mean, officially?
They've been. Well, my youngest brother is currently in The Ferryman on Broadway. Actually,
I did not know this.
Yeah, he is.
I
He's-
could this
He
talented
plays, he
family.
plays Declan Corcoran, one of the cousins of the big Irish family. It was crazy because it's both of our first professional New York stage debuts at the same time. He had beat me on a TV show. He did a 2-second spot, and I was like, "Oh, Michael, you beat me to TV, but I'll beat you to theater." And then just this past fall, he swoops in and books this Broadway gig, and he's
baby,
like,
too.
"Oh, I beat you to Broadway," and I was like, "Okay, buddy, calm it down."
I'm hanging out with Tom Kitt and John.
I
Jason
got a
Moore.
pretty good team here and
Yeah.
a great role to stick my teeth into. But yeah, I mean, it's been great because I was helping him apply to high school while he was in rehearsals
Oh
and
my gosh.
while I'm juggling classes myself.
So
for-
you're
for
in
college.
school as well.
Yeah, I'm at Hunter
Hunter.
College currently. Yeah,
Are you
so-
studying acting?
Oh, I've taken some classes, but I'm majoring in English. I kind of like to have a
Well-rounded
well-rounded
education.
education.
So
Keep yourself smart.
are your parents performers?
No, they're lawyers. So, which is a kind of
Or professional audience
It's-
members
yeah,
now
yeah,
with
yeah.
all these boys?
I know my mom. Don't ask my mom how many times she's seen Superhero and The Ferryman. It's
And
frightening.
Superhero is a very emotional
Yeah.
musical, especially for the moms out there. Bring tissues. It's going through March 31st at second stage.
Yes.
Tell me what it's like working with Kate Baldwin and Bryce Pinkham and the rest of the cast.
It's the greatest possible gift. I mean, I could ask for. They're firstly so gifted performers. I mean, so smart. You're talking about learning, and when you do a scene with them, they bring so much honesty that you have no choice but to give that same honesty back because they're such giving as performers. Everyone on this project, the creative team and everyone is so giving of themselves that it's just such a gift to be on stage with them. They're so talented and they're so warm.
They're
and,
sweet people.
and
Down to earth.
guiding for me, helping me.
Yeah, what was it like when you walked into the rehearsal room for your professional stage debut?
Yeah.
And there you are with these heavy hitters. Tell me, reenact that moment. How did you feel? Were you, because you're very poised, you're very relaxed. At least that's the outward thing I'm seeing. I don't know what's going on inside. I mean, you're an actor, so who knows?
Right. Yeah, in some ways shocking, but in most ways really easy. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because they are so welcoming and warm. I had this really cool moment, a year before we started rehearsals for this. I had been signed on to do it, and I went to rehearse a song to perform for the board at second stage, and we were going to do it at the theater, the Tony Kaiser Theater, and there was no show in there at that time. And one of the guys who was working there said, "Oh, have you seen the theater yet?" And I hadn't, so he took me up. And it was a bare stage except for a piano and the ghost light and an empty audience. And I just I stood up on the stage and sang one of the songs, My Dad, the Superhero from the show, which is such a beautiful, intimate song. And I sang it to this empty house, and there was nothing but potential energy. And it was overwhelming for me because it is so special. I mean, it's surreal to be in a situation where you have such gifted creators and performers, and the amount of trust they've put in me to help tell this story.
And I feel like they think of Second Stage as a nurturing environment for them as well.
Yeah.
So because they've been working on the show for so long.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's such a beautiful piece, and it's all about giving, showing that vulnerability and offering love.
How do you describe the musical? Because this is brand new. It's not based on anything, so you might not know it if you haven't seen it yet. Although I know you're coming before March 31st.
Yeah, well, you got
obviously.
it. You got it. It's brand new story, brand new music. It came from just conversations between John and Tom. It's about a mother and a son. I play the son, Charlotte, and Simon is who I play. They've recently undergone a tragedy. The father and husband died a couple years prior, and they're overcoming their trauma and grief. At the same time, a stranger moves into the apartment building that they've just moved into, and Simon,
Which is
Bryce Pinkham. Simon starts to believe that this next door neighbor, is an actual superhero. So this story follows him trying to figure out whether that's true, whether there could actually be a real live superhero in his world.
And we won't spoil anything.
Anything.
That's all we're saying. But were you a comic book aficionado like John Logan and Tom Kitt?
Like John, I mean, in my years, it became more superhero movies that took over. Comics I didn't really have access to, but I remember the Tobey Maguire Spiderman movies were coming out. Like, I feel like every year on my birthday growing up, they were all coming out. So I was a huge fan of those, and of course now the Marvel movies are so big. But what's so great about this is to take that superhero narrative and explore how that works in a musical theater realm, which I think,
and like a chamber musical. It's not
it's
explosions.
Not,
or anything.
Flying around. I mean, while there is that fantasy and the excitement of that, what is so special about what this piece explores is what it's like for the humans around a potential superhero.
I love it, the potential superhero.
Yeah.
All right, I know you guys have questions.
Oh yeah.
It's
Maybe.
true.
Is that why you were coughing at me?
No, I just had to tickle my throat.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just making sure.
It was a signal.
Let's
Was
go
not
to
a
a couple
signal.
questions if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Yes. So Samara wants to know if you have a favorite superhero movie character that you love the most.
I have to say Spiderman, just because he makes it so fun. Like seeing him interact with the real world and the superhero world, that was always so exciting because it makes it more tangible.
Right,
the
you really get
possibility
to
of
his Peter
being
Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kid in high school. I mean, I get that.
Yeah, what's not to like?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a teenager, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. So Jack wants to know that has there been like a standout moment during the superhero run that you've been like, whoa, this is like real life, or the most like pinch me moment you've had so far?
Well, there have been plenty of idols of mine who have seen the show and I've got to talk to afterwards, which has been
Go ahead and drop those
so
names we want to hear.
I don't know. I mean, Cameron Crowe got to see the show afterwards, and he loved it. And I got to talk to him about how special the story is. Andrew Rannells came the other night, which was so cool to meet him. Just because, especially the nature of everyone who's working on it. And the theater community is so connected and small and caring that having all these people come and see me on my first go around at this is so cool. And then the really special moments are anytime there's an audience that is really engaged in it, so vocal. I mean, just today we had a student audience who was we had a student matinee this morning, and they were so vocal about their love. I mean, they were with every comedic beat, every emotional beat. They were you could tell they were listening so intently that it's really special when you're doing a show and the audience is just so with you.
I love that.
I love that. So, okay, Juliana wants to know, do you have a go-to karaoke song?
And feel free to sing it if you like.
Yeah.
Oh no, karaoke stresses me out so much.
But you can sing. You think of the rest of us.
Yes, I guess, but then it's like, oh, well, you can sing. You like karaoke. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Go to karaoke. There was one time where a couple friends of mine were at karaoke, and we played Africa by Toto on repeat over and over again, like doing harmonies to it. That was a fun one. But otherwise, karaoke is a stressful event for me.
And look at him tighten up. I was like, you're so chill.
I know. And then it was like karaoke,
Being on
and I'm like,
stage
I have
with
to
Kate
pick a
Baldwin,
song.
no
And
problem, but this, karaoke.
Yeah.
No.
Overwhelmed by options when it comes
Yeah.
to karaoke, I feel
I
like.
know.
All right, this will be our last question. So Amy wants to know, what was your theater obsession growing up, if you had one?
Theater obsession. Oh well, I've had many, don't we all? I mean,
Go through the phases.
go
for
through
us.
a few. Les Mis was the second show I ever did. It was just the summer after I did my first show, and I was Gavroche, a young kid with it. It was a community theater that ranged from like 12 to 21, and I was hanging out with all these older kids, and it's such a big, grand show with just amazing music. So that was like, that was a great first obsession, because it was after that show that I immediately went online looking for like professional auditions. I was like,
Oh,
I got to
wow.
do this for the rest of my life.
What was the first Broadway show you saw?
I'm not sure. I think it might have been Spamalot. It might have been Spamalot.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I was a little young.
Okay. So
for
after
it.
Les Mis, what was your next obsession?
I think it was then it became all about Sondheim. It was Into the Woods, and then it was Sunday in the Park with George and Sweeney Todd, and it was just everything Sondheim.
The Sondheim
Yeah.
explosion.
Yeah.
I love it.
We all
Well, Assassins
get
is
that.
coming. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh, I'm pumped.
He's ready. Thank you for coming, Kyle.
Thank you for having me. This is so
I wish we had more
fun.
time for
I
more
know.
questions, because there's so many. You guys, go see Superhero. And if you've seen it, go back, because it's running at Second Stage through March 31st.
March 31st, and tell your friends about it. Get everyone you know to see it, because it's a
A
really
brand new
special
original
show.
musical.
It's
How often
brand
does
new-
that happen?
Yeah.
Not often enough. Not often enough.
Not often enough. Yeah.
Well, Caitlin, will you take us on out?
Yes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single day on Facebook. You can listen to this interview and many more by searching for #live@5 everywhere you get your podcasts, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. We talk to Angie Schwarr of The Prom.